And all right. Good morning, everybody. This is Mitch, obviously, with EXP. And today we are going to talk about attraction and how to attract agents to the company. Obviously, when Glenn started this company, one of the things he was all excited about was the ability to have agents create some sort of income for themselves aside from just real estate. Because as you know, we can sell houses forever, but it's very difficult to create any type of wealth or any type of steady income from doing from just selling houses. And I see it year after year. I see agents that they work really hard during the year, and it comes November, December, they start to slow down a little bit, and then unfortunately January and February they have no money again, and then they've got to start all over again trying to build their business. And it's a yearly thing. And the beauty of the revenue share model is it gives you the ability to create some sort of residual income to help you with your bills. And I don't care whether you're making $500 a month or $5,000 a month or whatever. It really is whatever you choose to do and however you choose to do it. And my job, as my only job these days, is to help you accomplish those goals. So as we go through this today, I'm going to show you some of the things that I've learned over the past couple of years of doing this, and try to teach you as much as you want to know. And any of you can reach out to me individually, as you should know by now, to discuss your personal situations and how we can help get there. One of the first things I like to show people is this chart here. And I find this chart really awesome because it really gives you a breakdown of how much money you would have to have in the bank or in an investment at 5% interest to grow income. So to make $100 a month, you would have to have $24,000 in the bank at 5%. I have an agent that's helping pay for college now for her daughter. She's making about $2,000 a month, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, and she would have to have $480,000 in the bank to do that. So depending on where you want to be in life with regards to the revenue share, this is where you would have to be, and it's pretty amazing. One thing I do want to say also as we get rolling here, anybody can do this. This is not difficult. We're going to talk about how simple this is as we move forward. But I know a lot of people think of this, oh, I don't want to recruit agents. This isn't about recruiting. This is about introducing people to the company. It's how I grew my brokerage from 6 agents to 120 agents, is I did zero recruiting. I'm not a recruiter. I don't like to recruit. But people love my company, so they introduce people to me and my company. It's the same thing. If you love the company, introduce people to the company, and people will join. It's just the way it works. But anyways, this is a really cool chart. For me, I'd have to have over $5 million in the bank to be making what I'm now making now, close to $6 million. And I can tell you that I don't have $6 million in the bank. Hopefully soon. So one of the things that was a huge thing for me when I joined, and I like to show this diagram because it kind of shows you what Glenn's vision was when he started the company. And as you know, most franchises, if not all franchises, are international companies. And the international companies, what they do is they sell regions, right? And then they sell regions, and the regions sell franchises. And the franchises are the owners of the company. And those franchises, they hire team leaders, they hire managers, they hire recruiters. And that's to get agents. Us, we're the agents, right? And it's our job to pay for all those people above us to run their little businesses. We pay for the team leaders, we pay for the managers, we pay for the recruiters, we pay for the franchises, we pay for the regions, and ultimately we pay the international company. And that comes from us. What Glenn's vision was to get rid of that and move all of that money we're paying to those people and give it to us, the agents. And Glenn's commitment and the way our company is built, 50% of our EXP revenue, our company dollar, our 20%, is paid to the agents. So instead of taking that 20% or 10% in this case, 50% of the 20%, and paying that to all those people above us, he's paying that out to the agents to help us grow this company grassroots. This is a grassroots movement. This is not, we don't have recruiters, we don't have managers, we don't have team leaders. We have great support staff, as you all know, inside of our EXP world with 420 employees. But when I saw this, and I'll never forget, Gene Frederick was in Austin, Texas, doing this on a paper napkin with me. And that was the final straw. That was when I finally got what Glenn was trying to accomplish, was let's help our agents create some sort of residual income, some sort of retirement income, all the while helping grow the company. And it is the reason we're the fastest growing real estate brokerage ever. And if you don't know those numbers, Caldwell Banker took 70 years to hit 10,000 agents. KW took 18 years. We took 9. And the cool part about it, since June of 2017 when I joined to now, we've added almost 18,000 agents. So in less than 2 years, we have 18,000 agents. Just crazy growth. And that's all because of agents like you. And again, anybody can do that. So we're going to go through all of the stuff that I've learned. I spent October through February flying around the country learning and how to be really good at introducing people to the company. So first thing I want to talk about is attitude. You have to be positive. You have to be patient. People don't join today. Very seldom people join the day that I meet with them, but they do. I've had several do that, but generally it's a process. It might take a week. It might take a year. I've had a couple people that I've been talking to since I switched over that started to join over. So you have to be patient. You have to be positive, and you can't be obnoxious. To me, there's nothing worse than an EXP agent out there going, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you're going to make $1 million in revenue share." It's not true. Well, you can, but it's definitely not true for 99% of the people out there. But don't throw up EXP. And honestly, I made that mistake. I had talked too much about it with certain people when I first started because I was so excited about it, and then I realized that was wrong. One of the biggest things is just be an awesome realtor, right? And we're going to talk about how to deal with that. Not how to be an awesome realtor, but how do you deal with another agent on the other side. Try not to talk about yourself. If you know me, that's hard for me because I like to talk about myself because I have lots of stupid stories. But you really got to listen and talk about how you can help them with their goals and their needs. And it's not about you, it's about them. You'll never hear me in a conversation with an agent unless I think they're a big connector talking about rev share or recruiting. I always say it's about introducing people and referral fees. And one of my favorite lines that Rob Flick told me was he doesn't list houses anymore, he lists people, because agents who come on board can create an income for you year after year as long as you're both with the company. So attitude is 90% of the people. People are attracted to people that are positive. For those of you who know me, I am nonstop smiling, positivity, 24 hours a day. My wife makes a joke that I go to bed with a smile on my face, I sleep with a smile on my face, and I wake up with a smile on my face. Kind of drives her crazy, I think. So a lot of people ask me, so where do I meet agents? So meeting agents, I'm not going to read all these things so you can read them yourselves looking at the screen. But I will tell you my favorite things are, one, I like to teach classes. I like to do coaching. So I've brought on a lot of agents doing that. Stopping by open houses is another one. One thing I know about people doing open houses, they're sitting there waiting for anybody to talk to. So stop at open houses and say hi to them, and wear your EXP shirt or your EXP badge or whatever, and how's it going, and we'll talk a little more about what to say to them. And then my favorite one is the people that you're doing transactions with or have done transactions with. Those are the people that you have the best shot. And it's a really simple line, by the way. I really think you might be a great fit for EXP. Have you heard much about it? And they usually say, well, I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Then great, would you mind watching this video? That's about it. And we'll talk about the full process in a little bit. But these are different ways of meeting agents. Obviously, attending any type of realtor event. Every time I go to one of our realtor events, we got one Friday night, somebody asked me about EXP. Multiple people asked me about EXP. Some people, hey, I've been buying your stock and I've been watching. It's pretty amazing. And little by little, they come join the company because this is the best opportunity there is in the real estate world. And as you know, I gave up a lot, or maybe you don't know, I gave up my brokerage and gave up a lot of money to do EXP, and it was by far the best decision of my life. So what's the conversation starters look like? So if you're talking to someone out of the area, it could be, how's your market? What's going on in your market? Do you think the industry's changing? My favorite is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And my other favorite one is, what's your exit strategy? Part of the reason why most people join this is because there is an exit strategy. Just with the 5% buying stock alone for the 20% discount is an exit strategy. Right now, there's a reason why you see a bunch of 80-year-old realtors, no offense to anybody who's 80 years old is on this call, selling houses still, because a lot of times they have to. And I know I didn't want that for myself or my agents. So these are all conversation starters. Um, Gene Frederick and I were talking not too long ago. Actually, he did a class for some of our agents, and he was talking about one of his favorite things to do when he goes to conferences is going to Starbucks and just stand in line. And he'll stand in line and go around in line several times and just talk to people in line because he always likes to get into conversations about their business and about their exit strategy. And he's converted a lot of people from wherever they were to EXP just by having conversations about them. And again, he makes it all about them. And that's what I do. The biggest thing to do is you want to find out about who you're talking to. Now, we get into this process and stuff, it's going to be a little bit different. But once you get to be where you're the leader of your organization, you'll do what I do. And I want them to tell me about themselves. I want me to tell them about their team, if they're a team, and about their operations. I want them to tell me about their goals. I want them to tell me what they love about their current situation. What would they change about their current situation? A lot of times when I ask that, a lot of times just once I start going on, they'll tell me everything they like, and they'll definitely tell me everything they don't like. And I'll ask them what would they change if they could change the situation. If they don't say anything, which very seldom do they not say anything, I'll offer those things to them. Would you like to have other revenue streams? Would you like to have a piece of the company? And then I want to know who's involved in the decision-making process, because I know for myself, if I'm going to make a major decision in my life, I'm probably going to make that with my wife's approval. I always bring my wife into the conversation because I think it's important that she knows what I'm doing. And I really feel that a lot of people have done that. I know locally I've met with a lot of husband and wives where one's the realtor and the spouse wants to hear it. I did one this morning. Met with a husband and wife. They're actually brokerage that's switching over to us because they're not making it as a brokerage. And then my final step after I've done all that is I want to set the next expectation, which is great. So this is great. I'll give you a call back on Thursday just to answer any more questions for you, or when's the best time to call you back. What's the next step? Sometimes it's, I'll send you the link later on and you can register. We've had, don't get me wrong, a lot of people join right away. A lot of people are looking for us. So EXP has 5 pillars. And during that conversation that I'm having with them, I want to find out what's going on. And we just ended a meeting a few seconds ago, really right before we got on this call. And I learned a lot. For her, she was a newer agent. She has no technology. She has no education. She has a great split. She has a 90-10 split, but yet she has no sales yet. So, of course, 90% of zero is zero, right? So we really talked a lot about education, because that being a new agent, they want to know, how am I going to get sales? And she's been in the business for 6 months and hasn't had a sale yet. Now, I don't always recommend brand new agents because they're a lot of work. However, for someone like the woman that I just met with, she's 26 years old and she's a firecracker. She is motivated. She's doing cold calls. She's doing all this stuff, but she has no guidance. So in a case like that, a brand new agent is fine. But obviously, I'd rather have an agent that is doing transactions that I don't have to trade from scratch. But when I'm having my conversation with them, the most important thing is finding out which of these 5 pillars fit into it. For the majority of people that I talk to, the stock is huge. Everybody wants the stock. They love that. The 80-20 split with the $16,000 cap is great. I have a guy I'm talking to right now who is getting ready to go to KW, and he's opening up. He's a lead generation guy. He's opening up teams, not just here in Florida, but he's opening them up all over the country. And with KW, they told him he has to have a separate cap for each of those locations that he brings on agents and works in those areas. And with us, he has one cap, $16,000 cap, no matter how many market centers he opens or market areas he opens. So that's what we talked about. So everybody's a little bit different. And unless you ask the right questions on what that is, then you won't get those answers to find out what you should be talking about. I don't want to talk about technology, if they have technology. That's stupid, because that's not something that's going to sway them over as much. But I find stock, I find rev share, education, display. I mean, all of these things are great. It's just a matter of which one fits that person the best. So what we're going to go through now is really a simple process, and I do this myself. And I personally am bringing on about 2 agents a month right now, sometimes 3. Of course, I have over 400 people in my organization, so I'm constantly on the phone each day meeting with people. Like today, I have 3 meetings for agents. 3, they all actually happen to be in person, for my agents, bringing agents to meet me. That's my life these days, which is really, really fun. And my commitment to all of you and anybody in our organization is I am always here to talk to people with you. So the first step is you got to make a list of agents. It's a business. This is just another part of your business model. I commit personally, and this is horrible, only about 2 hours a week right now to myself, because I'm so busy with everybody else. I've got to increase that a little bit, but right now I'm just doing a couple of hours a week. So you make a list. My last list I made a list of about 30 agents, and so far 7 of them have joined, and about another 5 or 6 are on the fence. And then there's a few that just aren't probably not going to join now, or they might join later when they get upset with their broker for some reason. I prefer to call the agents, and the question is very simple. Have you heard about eXp Realty? Do not try to explain this over the phone. It's, have you heard about eXp Realty? I haven't talked to anybody in a while that has not heard about us, but I'm sure there's people that haven't. And if they say yes, I'm great. What have you heard? And generally say, I don't know. I just heard it. I know you're growing and all that. And then I say, have you ever watched any of the videos? And I prefer them to watch a video before I talk to them, because I want them to have an understanding of what we do. Now, a lot of times they'll say, well, can you just tell me about it? And your answer to them is very simple. Honestly, it's 90% visual, and I'm really not that good at explaining it. If you watch this video, it'll really answer most of your questions. And if you can watch it with them while you're on the phone, or while you go into a Zoom call or something, that's great. I haven't done that very often. I haven't had time. But if you have time, that's great. It's just kind of think of it like a listing appointment. Right? You're generally not going to do a listing appointment by sending them a video on how you do it. But if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. And then when I get them on the phone the next day, I'll answer a couple of questions. But and this is what I'm talking about for the average agent who's doing this. But don't answer all the questions. You want to have a 3-way conversation with somebody who knows more than you know. And even if you know a lot about the company, it's still good to have a 3-way conversation. So that's what I, again, spend my days doing pretty much every day these days. And what's the purpose of that? If someone thinks that you have to learn everything about eXp to introduce somebody to the company, they're probably not going to find that part of our company exciting. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to know anything about it. You just need to say, honestly, I don't know all the answers. I just sell real estate. That's what I do. We have Mitch. That's who we all talk to about, people wanting to answer questions about, about eXp. So let's get a call on with Mitch. And then he set an appointment with me on my calendar thing, and we have a half-hour appointment. And I do that all the time, and it works. And I will tell you that the majority of people that I'm meeting with right now have joined. I would say over the last 3 months, 90%. Right? It's probably higher than that, but I'm just picking up a number. So this is the process. Make your list of agents. And by the way, that list of agents is the people that you know. You don't need to be cold calling this. We all do a lot of real estate. We all talk to a lot of people. Same thing when you're on a transaction, when you're talking to the realtor. It's been great working. Have you heard about eXp? I think you'd be a great fit. It's the same conversation for every single person. The key, though, is really trying not to answer all the questions or spout out a whole bunch of information that you may or may not know the answers to. And let someone like myself answer those questions for you. Any questions about that? It's not difficult. If you have a question, just type it into the box there. I generally don't get too many questions because it's pretty simple when you really think about this. So these are a few objections that I get. And there's not that many. And these are pretty much all I get. I'm happy where I'm at. And I always say, great, well, I'm happy. I was happy owning Tropical Realty too. And we're looking for happy people. But we're also looking for people that are looking for a better opportunity. Very simple, not difficult. Everybody, I would say the majority of people I talk to, that's their response to me. I'm like, great, that's awesome. And I want to work with people that are happy. I just want to make sure that you have the best opportunity you have. Are you open to at least understanding the opportunity? I just did a lunch and learn last week, and the first thing was Caldwell Banker agent, really nice lady who's coming on board, and she goes, "Yeah, but I'm Caldwell Banker agent, and I know I'm successful because of that." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Well, yeah." I go, "So you're telling me that you're not successful because of who you are and your work ethic and the service that you provide your customers?" She goes, "Well, of course." I go, "Well, then you're successful no matter where you are, because there's lots of successful agents that don't work with a major brand. In fact, most of our top agents in our county, and this is true, don't work with a major brand. So again, it's not a big deal." And then this one I hear a lot, especially from the big naysayers, the companies are talking bad about us. "Well, I noticed your stock is all over the place." Uh, and I'm like, "Yeah, well, we're a small cap stock, so it's going to fluctuate. So tell me, how much stock does Remax give you?" And I don't say anything after that. It's kind of funny to see their look on their face, because this is the only company that you give you stock. And by the way, with regards to stock, I don't know if you saw, it was very cool that we surpassed, at least the other day, I don't know if it's still true, we surpassed Remax and Rheology on our valuation, which is kind of cool. It kind of shows you that the bricks and mortar model of yesterday is yesterday. And companies like ourselves are really taking over. It's, again, the reason why we're growing as fast as we are is because agents know this. You don't have to sell this to anybody. I don't sell this to anybody. The conversation I tell people all the time is depending on where they are. Like, I had a conversation the other day. The person was on my fifth level, which is $800. And I told them, I said, "Look, honestly, if you join, my max I'm going to make from you is $800. That's my max." I go, "So if you join, it doesn't really affect my life, but boy, it can change your life." And that's a very powerful statement. So that's what I love right now, because right now I don't look like I'm selling EXP. I look at it as like I'm changing lives, and there's nothing more gratifying to me to see somebody come on and maybe use their stock as a safety net if they have to, or one of our agents became an icon agent in May, and to see him get initially $12,000 of his $16,000 cap back in bid stock. I mean, that's awesome, and anybody can do that. It's great. So here, I'm going to give you a few more tips, and I always keep these things to a half hour, and we're almost there. Remember, when you're talking to people, make sure you listen, so you can figure out which of the 5 pillars of our company fit into them. When talking numbers, especially with most franchises that pay a franchise fee, we're going to beat them just in the compensation without the stock and without the rev share model. So when I'm talking numbers, for instance, I talked to a Caldwell Banker agent in Massachusetts the other day, and she had gross commissions of $450,000, and with her split and her fees, she was at $330,000 is what she made. With us, not even counting stock or all that other stuff, she was going to make $90,000 more with EXP. Pretty easy conversation, right? Remember, most agents you talk about want to know why we're a good real estate company. They don't really want to know as much, and this is most, not everybody. It's a lot of people. I mean, the people that are on here with right now, you want to learn how to introduce people to the company, because there's a great opportunity there. A lot of people just want to sell houses. We're a great real estate company. We give you great tools. And then 3-way calls, I can't emphasize enough. Do not try to tell people about this yourself. I talked to one of my agents the other day locally. He's telling me, "Yeah, I just can't seem to get anybody interested." I go, "Tell me what you're doing." "Well, I'm trying to explain to him about the stock and all this stuff." I go, "Well, stop doing that." I go, "Keep this as simple as you can. Have you heard about EXP? Send the video. Let's get Mitch on the phone so he can answer all the questions for you." That's it. If you do that, your life changes. It's dramatic. If you try to be the guy that knows everything, it doesn't work, because they're going to sit there and go, "Holy crap, I don't want to learn all that stuff." Right? Let me do the heavy lifting. Follow-up calls and texts. I generally keep in touch with the people that I've talked about once a month, and I usually text them with something. Like when we hit 20,000 people last month, I texted everybody to tell them about it. because you have to stay in touch. Because the reality is, if you don't stay in touch, there's another EXP agent that will, and they'll join under that person. Then you'll get all upset about that. The other thing is pick the right agents. Not everybody, in my opinion, is made for EXP. I personally am looking for business people. I'm looking for people that want to run a business, that want to be successful realtors, that want to introduce people to the company. And even if they don't want to introduce people to the company, I don't want to bring on people that are going to leave because they didn't get enough hand-holding. I want people that are self-sufficient, that I know are successful. Right? So pick the right agents. And I made that mistake, excuse me, at the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing. And there really isn't any real training, which is why I'm working hard. Actually, there's a lot of training now, but when I first joined, there wasn't really any training. And that's why I'm here to help you guys and train you guys how to do this. You want to find the people that are looking for us. And there's lots of people that are looking for us. That's what I've found. There's lots of people that are looking to do this. I do have a question. What do you use to track your calls, text, emails? So unfortunately, I did have a guy I was going to bring on for CRM conversation today, but he couldn't make it. So we're going to do a separate one that's just that, which is great because I was only going to be able to give him 5 minutes. I am just using spreadsheets right now. A lot of people I know are using KV Core. A lot of people are using Follow Up Boss. I'm going to be using one of the CRMs out there. I haven't figured out which one. So any one of those things, again, right now I'm using, I'm just using a spreadsheet, and I go through my spreadsheet every month and I see who I've talked to and who I haven't talked to. I keep my notes there. I mean, I'm 58 years old. That works for me, but a CRM is better. Someone asked me my phone number, so you can reach out to me. My phone number, if you want to write this down, is 321-258-4150. Okay, 321-258-4150. So if you want to, but you do have to make an appointment. I can't just take a question. I just can't get a phone call because I'm literally booked daily, every day. Okay. Other things, so that 321-258-4150. Time block. And by the way, you can send me a text and we can set up an appointment that way. I just can't. I'm always on the phone or in a meeting pretty much every day, every hour of the day. Today I'm booked from, my first meeting was 8 o'clock. My last one's at 5. Time block. Block out an hour a day or even 30 minutes a day to hit your goals. And here's the numbers. If you talk to 2 realtors a day, right, you'll have ridiculous numbers. I'll give you an example of that. Sorry, I just had a thing that I was trying to deal with. If you talk to 2 realtors a day, you'll be shocked at how much success you have over a year. And I'm going to give you an example of that. I was talking to Gene Frederick in New Orleans in October. He said, Mitch, I want to meet you to meet this so-and-so guy. So I met this guy, and I couldn't tell you his name off the top of my head because I have no idea. He goes, he's a brand new agent when he started with EXP, and he reached out to Gene, or whoever brought him in, and Gene taught this guy. And the guy said, just talk to 2 realtors every day and introduce them to EXP. So he goes, Gene says, tell him your story. So he goes, yeah, I'm new agent a year ago. I still haven't sold a house, but I was told I got to talk to 2 realtors every day, 5 days a week. So that's what I've done. I go, so where you're at? He goes, I now have 257 realtors and I'm making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. This is a guy that didn't know anybody, right? So pretty simple. Check what you're doing, as we just talked about a few minutes. And honestly, the most important tip I can give you on this, I think it's the last one, is just do it. A lot of people are afraid to ask questions. It's like in real estate. If you don't ask for the listing, you're not going to get the listing. If you don't ask people to do this, then what are you expecting? They're not going to join with you, right? Very few people are going to come up to you and say, hey, I want to join EXP. You need to reach out to people and do that. And I don't care if you talk to 2 people a week. I don't care if you just talk to the person that you're doing a transaction on. And I'm going to give you some really easy numbers to end this with so you understand the power of this. If you introduce just 2 people a year to the company, and by the way, anybody in this company can do that. 2 people a year to the company over the next 3 years, and those people just introduce just 1 person over those 3 years period, and for easy math's sake, we'll say they all cap, that's up to $36,000 a year in your pocket. I don't know about you, but even for myself, an extra $3,000 a month pays a lot of my bills. It pays my mortgage and my car payments. Right? So that's cool numbers. But I'm going to give you, because you're on this call, I'm going to give you a number that I don't share very often with most people. I share this with people that I know want to attract agents. And this is a real number, and it blows my mind every time I say it. If you introduce just 3 people a year to this company, right, just 3 for the first 2 years, and then the third year you introduce just 4 people because you got really good at it, and then your goal, right, was to help those 10 people do exactly what you did. Now, can anybody introduce 3 people to this company a year? Absolutely. Do you need to talk to 10 or 20 or 30 people to do that? Absolutely. But how hard is that? A lot of you are doing 10, 20, 30 transactions a year, right? If you introduce 3 people the first year, 3 people the second year, 4 people the third year, and you teach those 10 people to do the same thing, if everybody capped, that would be $348,000 a year in your pocket. Now, here's the reality. They're not all going to cap. But let's say they all half cap. That's $175,000. Now, that's how some of the people who are making $300, $400, $500, $1 million a month, right? Those $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or $1 million a month. That's how they built their business. They helped 10 people do it. Then they helped another 10 people do it. Then they helped another 10 people do it. And before you know it, they're just growing like crazy organically. I will tell you, just in my own little world, that once you reach a certain point, people just start joining regardless of you. So right now I have over 400 people. I have 30 plus people joining every month. Remember, I'm only bringing on 2 people a month personally. So all my other agents are bringing on all those other people, and I make a little bit of money off of each of them. So that's all I got for you for today. Feel free to reach out to me, whether it be by email. You all have my email. Whether it be by phone. Again, text me first, and I'll call you if I'm not in a meeting. Just say who you are, because I get lots of spam texts and phone calls all the time. And again, my only job right now is to help you do this, and I really want to help you accomplish your goals. So thank you so much for attending, and we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.